Today we're doing section 3.3. It's all about angles formed by transversals. You'll learn what a transversal is in just a second. Our objective is to identify angles formed by transversals. Anyone need more time with this slide? Alright, I'll give you a few minutes to write this one down and then we'll talk about it. After you write the definition, make sure you draw the picture and then see if you can figure out which one's a transversal. Alright, so your first vocabulary word today is a transversal. A transversal is a line that intersects two or more coplanar lines at different points. So, we have three lines here, the green one, the red one, and the blue one. Which one do you think is the transversal when you're given that definition? The blue one. The blue one is the transversal because it crosses two or more lines. So, go ahead and label that blue one as your transversal. Alright, so the cool thing about a transversal is it creates 8 different angles if it crosses 2 lines. If it crosses 3 lines, it creates even more. But we have one angle here, 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 and here. 8 different angles. Now, a bunch of different relationships are formed by that transversal. And that's what we're going to talk about today. How these different angles will relate to each other. How the 8 different angles will be related. And different vocabulary words that you can use to refer to those angle relationships. Any questions? Now, here are 5 different types of relationships that are formed. You do not need to write these. You're going to end up writing them all anyway. But here's just a quick list. So we'll have corresponding angles, alternate interior angles, alternate exterior angles, same side interior angles, same side exterior angles. There's one of these that you actually don't see a lot. I'm not sure. It doesn't really get the popularity that the rest of them do. That's same side exterior. So we won't talk about that one a lot. You can probably by the end figure out exactly what it means. But the other 4 we will talk about a lot. Any questions before we go on? Alright, the first type of relationship that we will cover today is corresponding angles. Now, you don't really need to write down the paragraph. I think it's easier to just put it as a picture. So write down the title, corresponding angles, and then draw this diagram. So you can see that the corresponding angles in this diagram are labeled with the matching letters. So A and A are corresponding, B and B are corresponding, C and C are corresponding, D and D are corresponding. The reason that they're corresponding is they're in the same position related to the intersection point. So if you focus in on these intersection points here and here, both of the A's are to the upper right, or sorry, to the upper left, kind of just right above it. And then to the right you have the B's, below the intersection point you have the C's, and then off to the left you have the D's. So the ones in the exact same position are the corresponding angles. It'd kind of be like if you ran up the stairs in F building and you went to the first classroom on the right. That's kind of like the corresponding classroom to this classroom. It's in the exact same position, just on a different floor. So these are on the exact same position, just on a different line. Does that make sense? Corresponding angles. Any questions? Alright, here's the next one. Same thing, you don't need to write out the big paragraph unless you want to. If you think it'll help you, that's fine. I do want you to write the title, alternate interior, and then draw the diagram. When you get done, I do think it is helpful to read through the paragraph, so if you're sitting here waiting on the rest of us, just go ahead and read through that. It'll tell you a little bit more about why It's called alternate interior. If you understand the names, it makes it a lot easier. For example, corresponding angles, they're in corresponding positions, the same position. Alternate interior. Alternate means different sides of the transversal. So do you see how the A's are on different sides of the transversal? The B's are on different sides of the transversal. So alternate means different sides of the transversal. Interior means inside the other two lines. So alternate sides of the transversal inside your other lines. So alternate interior. Any questions on this one? Next we have alternate exterior. So same idea with the word alternate. They're on different sides of the transversal. So you can see we have an A on the upper part and an A on the lower part. You have a B on the lower part, a B on the upper part. The only difference between alternate interior and alternate exterior is where they are related to the two lines that they cross. Now instead of being on the inside, the interior, they're on the exterior. So again, alternate, different sides of the transversal. Exterior, outside of the two lines. Alternate exterior. Any questions on that one? Anyone need more time? Alright, same side interior. So again, if you sort of dissect the name, it'll tell you what you should be looking for. We want the same side of the transversal inside of the two lines. So same side, interior. Interior is inside. So B goes with B, A goes with A. They're on the same side of your transversal, inside of your lines. Any questions on this one? Here's example 1. I'll give you a minute to draw A, B, and C. Number exactly as it's numbered. We are trying to determine the relationship between the numbered angles. So the relationship between 1 and 2, the relationship between 3 and 4, and the relationship between 5 and 6. So I'll give you a second to write them down. If you get it down, you can go ahead and try to answer them. Alright, so part A, we're supposed to describe how 1 and 2 are related. I always like to decide if they're on the same side of the transversal or opposite sides of the transversal. If it's opposites, that makes it a little easier. You'll use one of the alternates. If they're on the same side, you'll use same side or corresponding. So, any ideas on part A? So it looks like if you look at the intersection points, they're both to the upper right of the intersection points. They're kind of like in the same position. So those would be if they were both on the inside, it'd be same side interior. If they were both on the outside, it'd be same side exterior. But the ones on the inside, the two's on the outside, they're kind of like in corresponding positions. So which one is that? Look through the things you just wrote down. Yeah, these are corresponding angles. Good. And the reason they're corresponding is because they're sort of like in the same position. Okay, they're both to the upper right of their line. I agree with the interior part. They're on the inside of those two lines. They're on the same side of the transversal though, so that's same side interior. We can abbreviate. Let's just do inter. There you go. And C, here's our transversal. So one's on the left of the transversal, one's on the right of the transversal. So they're alternate. Are they on the inside or the outside of the two lines? Outside. So alternate exterior. Good. You can start shortening it up like alt X. That's fine. If you just put alternate, it will be wrong. If you just put exterior, it would be wrong. You need both of them. What are your questions here? All right. Here's example 2, same sort of setup, so I'll give you some time to draw these 4 pictures, and we are just trying to decide how these angles are related to one another. All right, so the first one, they're on the inside of these two lines and opposite sides of the transversal. So put those two things together. Different sides of the transversal, that means yes. Different sides of the transversal means alternate. Now are they on the inside or the outside? Inside. So alternate interior angles. Good. The thing about alternate interior angles, if you trace them, it forms like a weird looking Z pattern. That's one of the ways to remember alternate interior as well. All right, number 2. They're both to the bottom left of those intersection points. So those are corresponding. Good. Again, abbreviations are fine. Shorten it up. Just make sure you include all the right words. All right, number 3. Different sides of the transversal. So it's probably going to include what word? Alternate. Inside or outside? Outside. So that would be exterior. Good. Now, corresponding, I heard someone say that corresponding is kind of like the oddball. Usually you can do like same side or alternate side, interior or exterior. Corresponding is the one that doesn't really fit that pattern. So if you notice they're in the same position, that's when they're corresponding. So it might be a good idea to check if they're corresponding first, then go to like same side, alternate, interior, exterior. It's really up to you. Any questions on number 3 though? All right, number 4. I know they're not corresponding because they're sort of like in different positions, but they are on the same side. So I can do SS for same side, and then are they inside or outside? Inside. Good. Same side interior. Same side exterior is the one I said we don't do a lot with, but it does exist, so you might see it here and there. But same side interior seems to be the more common of the same side options. Any questions? All right, here's example 3. I would actually, for now, just draw the diagram. Some of these take a little more room notes than others. I will definitely run out of room. So I would just draw this, and then you can do the A, B, C, D part as we go. So this one's a little different because now we're just going to list all of the ones that fit into a certain category. So I'm going to start with corresponding. And I'll give you a hint. There are 4 sets of corresponding angles.
You said 4?
Mm-hmm. 4 sets. 1 goes with
3.
Not 3.
2, 4, 5.
5. Good. You guys keep guessing, you'll eventually get it right. It's not 1, 2, or 3 because those are on the same part, the same line. All right. Remember, they're on the different lines in the same position. So if you're taking one from the top intersection, the next one has to be from the bottom intersection. But upper left of the intersection, upper left of the intersection. So 1 and 5 are corresponding angles. All right. Anyone know what goes with angle 2?
6.
2 and 6. Good. Again, same position. Those are both upper right of the intersection point. All right. Angle 3 goes with 7. Good. And then last we'll have angle 4 and angle 8. Very good. Now, see how I use different colors to kind of help tell them apart? If you're interested in doing that as you go through your homework, I have markers available over here in the cabinet. Just pull them out, and it might help you make things a little more clear on your diagram. Feel free to use those anytime you need. The only thing is you won't be able to erase. Like I can go through and just erase so it's clean for the next part. So just be careful. Don't draw so much that you can't read what you're doing. All right, next, B, we want alternate interiors. Can anyone give me a pair of alternate interior angles? 3 and 5 are same side interior. 3 and 7 are corresponding. 3 and 6, yes, they're on different sides of the transversal inside the 2 lines. So angle 3 and angle 6 are alternate interiors. There's one more set of alternate interiors. Anyone see it?
4 and 5.
4 and 5, good. Whoops. Alright, part C, we now want alternate exteriors.
1, 2, and 8.
Alternate. 2 and 8 are same side exteriors. 1 and 8, good. We want them on different sides of the transversal outside of the 2 lines. So 1 and 8. And, yep, 2 and 7. Good. As you can see, this takes a lot of room. I'm actually out of space. I'll have to go up top. Now I want same side interior. So let me clean things up a little. And there are 2 sets of same side interior. Anybody know? 3 and 5.
4 and 6.
And 4 and 6. Good. Now, we haven't done a lot with same side exterior. You can probably guess if we were going to talk about same side exterior, 2 goes with 8, and 1 goes with 7. Same side of the transversal, outside of the lines. But we don't do a lot with that one. It's kind of the unpopular one. Any questions? All right, I want to skip to this last example. You can go ahead and put this as example 4 notes. Now, this one's a little different just because the diagram is, I would describe it as a lot busier. There's a lot more labels. The angles aren't labeled as nice, neat little numbers. You actually have to go through and use the 3 letters when identifying them. And again, you want to leave yourself a little more room than it appears you will need. All right, number 10, we want JKP. So start with J, go to K, down to P. We also want KPN. So anyone know the relationship between JKP and KPN? Just like we've been doing, alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding, same side. They're not corresponding, they're not in the same position. They alternate, yeah, they're on different sides of the transversal, so it'll be one of the alternates. Now they're on the inside or the outside of the 2 lines? Inside, so these are alternate interior angles. Good. Again, this might be a nice time to write on your diagram. The only thing is don't write so much that you can't do the next problem. So I have an advantage. I can erase it. Just be careful on yours. Number 10, we have LKM. So this guy up here, LKM. And then QPR. So they're not corresponding. They're definitely not in the same position. Are they on the same side or opposite sides of the transversal? Opposite, so it's going to be one of the alternates. Interior or exterior? Exterior, so that's an alternate exterior. Good. All right, next I want JKL. So this one up here, JKL. And RPK. So the blue ones I just outlined. Those are what? They're on the same side, okay? They're not both interior or exterior, so I can't really do so they're corresponding. Very good. Corresponding, like I said, seems to be kind of the oddball to pick out. But you handled it nicely. All right, let's clean it up for this last one. We have JKP and KPR. Same side. Interior, very good. All right, I'll leave that up on the board if you want to finish it up while I give you your homework. I want to do the first 5 with you on the homework, so we got to hurry up a little bit. And then the rest you'll have to do on your own. All right, so you should all have in front of you this worksheet, section 3.3. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 together. So number 1 says a blank is a line that intersects 2 or more coplanar lines at different points. Transversal, good. Number 2, 2 angles are blank if they occupy corresponding positions. It's kind of tricky because the word is actually in there already. Corresponding, yes. Corresponding positions means corresponding angles. Great. Number 3, 2 angles are blank if they lie between the 2 lines on the opposite side of the transversal. Yes, they're alternate. It said they're on the inside. Interior, good. 3 is alternate interior. Number 4, 2 angles are blank if they lie outside the 2 lines on opposite sides of the transversal. So opposite sides again, so it's another alternate, but now they're on the outside. Exterior, that's alternate exterior, good. And number 5, 2 angles are blank if they lie between the lines on the same side as the transversal. Same side, interior. Very good. Remember, you need both words. You can't just write alternate. You can't just write same side. You got to have the interior and the exterior as well. What are your questions on this worksheet and this section in general?